news now, you know, with these parties that the government, the people in charge were breaking the rules, having these parties in their lovely gardens. I think I've been naive all my life. It's not till now I just go, why do we trust them? Of course we shouldn't trust the people in charge. That's how they're in charge. They shouldn't be trusted.
Ricky Gervais never shies away from speaking his mind, using sharp wit to tackle tough topics. Recently, Conor McGregor sparked controversy by defending Tommy Robinson and criticizing Keir Starmer. Known for his boldness, McGregor didn't hold back on issues like free speech and politics.
How arrogant are you to think that you deserve to go through life with no one ever saying anything that you don't agree with or like? You don't have to pave the jungle.
Yeah.
You can just grow up there and have a laugh about it. Yeah, but you shouldn't hurt people's feelings. Well, you can if their feelings are wrong.
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
If you don't like the facts, don't change the facts, change the feelings.
Yeah.
I want people to stop saying that joke's offensive.
Yeah.
I want them to start saying I found it offensive, because you've got to own the emotion, because that's all it is. You're just telling me how you feel about it. There's nothing intrinsically offensive about this joke. It's no different to saying I've got a pain in my leg. But I believe you, but there's nothing to do with me.
As always, Gervais didn't hold back, jumping in to respond to McGregor's bold stance. Known for pushing boundaries, Ricky's always been an advocate for free speech, using humor to tackle tough topics others avoid. From his comedy specials to social media, Gervais believes everyone should speak their mind without fear of being shut down, even if their views are controversial.
Sheds light on this. They do not deserve to be, turned on in society. They deserve to be praised. So, I pray for more light on the bad things that happen and, correct things that happen.
When McGregor called for more open dialogue and transparency, Gervais likely agreed, but with his signature comedic twist. While McGregor's blunt stance on free speech mirrors Ricky's own views, Gervais would probably add a joke about society's obsession with being offended. For him, comedy isn't just about laughs. It's about sparking thought and tackling tough issues without being inflammatory. Humor, in Gervais's world, is the perfect way to push the conversation forward.
You know the worst thing is, as well? Apart from the pandemic and the devastation and the deaths and the strain on the health service and people losing their livelihoods and that, the worst thing is the fucking cunts in charge do what they want. And you know what? I see all these people saying all the parties they were having and what all the stuff they were doing, and people saying, that was the day I couldn't see my mum in hospital, or I couldn't go to my dad's funeral. And because the people in charge, the posh, privileged people in charge, were acting like fucking Charlie Sheen.
Tommy Robinson is a divisive figure. Some see him as a free speech champion, others as dangerous. Gervais, known for his bold comedy, understands the fine line between free speech and hate speech. While defending the right to speak is key, Gervais knows words have consequences. McGregor's defense of Robinson, rooted in free speech, would likely get a closer look from Gervais. Is it right to support someone whose views can divide? While humor is Gervais' tool for sparking thought, he'd caution that speech should be responsible, especially when it can hurt others.
If you don't like the changes that we've made, I say the door is open and you can leave. When I became leader, I said I would turn Labour around and give it back to the British people. And the most important and urgent part of that was in tearing out anti-Semitism by its roots. It's meant rebuilding trust, not just with the Jewish community, but with all those who were rightly appalled by the culture of the party under the previous leadership. The Labour Party is unrecognisable from 2019 and it will never go back.
Ricky Gervais is no stranger to calling out politicians, and with Keir Starmer, he'd have a field day. Known for his sharp wit, Gervais would tear into Starmer's stance on issues like immigration and justice, mocking his empty words that sound good but offer no real solutions. He'd call out Starmer and others for talking big but failing to act in ways that actually help the average person. Gervais would echo McGregor's criticism of Starmer, calling him out for being out of touch and more focused on holding on to power than solving real problems. In typical Gervais style, he'd highlight the hypocrisy of politicians who live in a bubble, completely discounting disconnected from the struggles of everyday citizens.
Age has the issues the people of Ireland face been spoke. You know, our government has long since abandoned the voices of the people of Ireland, and it's high time that America is made aware of what is going on in Ireland. What is going on in Ireland is a travesty. Our government is the government of zero action with zero accountability. You know, our money is being spent on overseas issues that has nothing to do with the Irish people. The illegal immigration racket is running ravage on the country. There are rural towns in Ireland that have been overrun in one swoop, that have become a minority in one swoop. So issues need to be addressed, and the 40 million Irish Americans, as I said, need to hear this, because if not...
Ricky Gervais loves to shine a light on the divide between elites and the general public. Through his sharp humor, he exposes the gap between what politicians say and what they actually do. Especially on issues like free speech and immigration, Gervais would tear into Starmer for claiming to act for the greater good, while the people he's meant to serve highlight how humor sometimes crosses into the inflammatory, blurring that line. When it comes to the political landscape, Gervais excels at satire. He'd argue that satire doesn't just ridicule, it forces us to reflect on our actions and engage in meaningful dialogue. Gervais challenges norms while making us think critically about the world around us. And when it comes to Conor McGregor defending Tommy Robinson and criticizing Keir Starmer, Gervais would have a field day. He'd mock how both sides blow things out of proportion, whether it's applauding McGregor or condemning him. To Gervais, it's all just part of the chaotic conversation of society, with everyone getting worked up over nothing.